Steven Hillenburg is one of the better-known names in animation. Born August 21st, 1961, he was not only an animator, but a marine biology educator. He passed away November 26, 2018, and is best known for shows like Rocko's Modern Life and SpongeBob's SquarePants, the latter of which continues to air to this day. What many people don't seem to know is that Hillenburg once created an educational film featuring the Bikini Bottomites, using real-world sea creatures that resembled the characters from the show. This project was conceived long before SpongeBob SquarePants debuted in 1999. However, it never quite gained the same recognition as his 1989 comic book, The Intertidal Zone, which later became the inspiration for the show. That's because the film was never aired publicly. No sources mention it, and the only people aware of its existence were Hillenburg himself and Nickelodeon. The film faded into obscurity until October 8th, 2001, when SpongeBob SquarePants was in the middle of its third season. That night, a Nickelodeon employee stumbled upon the film, titled SpongeBob's Real Life, and without hesitation, scheduled it for broadcast. After a couple of episodes of SpongeBob and the Fairly Odd Parents, the film suddenly aired late at night. Many viewers witnessed it, and I was one of them. The film opened with a title card reading SpongeBob's Real Life. It was nothing special, just the usual SpongeBob font in yellow with smaller white text above it stating, "Created by Steven Hillenburg." No creation date, no credits, no mention of Nickelodeon. The background of the title card was a still image of the ocean. Or so I thought. After a few seconds, I noticed the water moving. The gentle waves overlaid on the screen, bringing the image to life. The screen then faded in from black to another shot of the ocean, different from the one in the title card. And that's when the narration began. In the ocean, life thrives in ways many do not understand. It was Steven Hillenburg's voice. I mean, there was no mistaking it. However, something about his tone felt off. It wasn't upbeat like in later SpongeBob featurettes. Instead, he spoke in a deep, slow, and overly serious manner. Almost clinical, as if he were narrating an unsettling documentary rather than an educational film. And as he spoke, real-life footage of various sea creatures played on screen. Each animal bore an uncanny resemblance to a SpongeBob character, except they behaved exactly as they would in nature. This wasn't particularly shocking at first. I mean, after all, the show had depicted the characters in their natural forms on multiple occasions. Episodes like Season 2's Pressure, Season 10's Feral Friends, and even the SpongeBob movie Sponge Out of Water had already shown the characters outside of their cartoonish world. This was different, though. The camera focused on a yellow sea sponge clinging lifelessly to a rock. The narrator continued, his tone unwavering. A sponge lacks a nervous system. It does not think, it does not feel. It simply filters, feeding off what drifts through its body. The screen then cuts to a pink starfish resting motionless on the ocean floor. Suddenly, as a small fish swam too close, the starfish ejected its stomach, enveloping its prey in digestive enzymes. The narrator resumed speaking, describing the event in graphic detail. The starfish does not rip apart its meal with teeth. It does not chew. Instead, it forces its stomach out of its mouth and digests its prey alive before pulling it back inside. I felt uneasy. The camera then shifted to a turquoise octopus hovering in the dark waters, its long tentacles curling in slow, deliberate movements. Cephalopods are intelligent. They are aware of their surroundings. But in the deep, intelligence means nothing. There was no background music. Rather, there never had been. Only the ambient sounds of the ocean, the occasional gurgling of bubbles, the distant echoes of underwater movement, and Stephen's hypnotic, almost menacing narration. I felt as if I were sinking into the screen. As the film progressed, the creatures became less familiar and more unsettling. The camera descended into deeper, darker waters. Hillenburg's voice grew even more ominous. Life still exists, even in total darkness. Out of the shadows, an anglerfish appeared, its bioluminescent lure glowing eerily. Its massive jaw opened, revealing long, needle-like teeth. And then a flashlight illuminated the seafloor, revealing an enormous Japanese spider crab. It moved its spindly legs unnaturally across the ocean floor, its alien-like appearance making my skin crawl. And then came the scene that would haunt many children for weeks. Above the crab, something stirred. Long, unnervingly thin arms drifted motionlessly in the water. The camera panned up, revealing their source. A big fin squid. It floated eerily, its elongated limbs extending into the abyss like tendrils. The way it moved, its slow, deliberate, unnatural motions sent shivers down my spine. The footage lingered far too long. It was real, unaltered, yet something about it felt wrong. I wondered who had recorded this for Stephen Hillenburg. The screen shifted to a bird's eye view of the deep sea. The yellow sponge, pink starfish, and turquoise octopus, the ones from earlier, were drifting downward into the darkness. Without warning, the film changed. The footage became animated. SpongeBob, Patrick, and Squidward were plummeting into the abyss, screaming, before a monstrous whale-like creature emerged from the darkness. Its gaping mouth, lined with rows of jagged teeth, swallowed them whole. As the screen faded to black, Hillenburg delivered his final words. There are places in the ocean humans were never meant to see. Places where light does not reach, and life does not belong. The broadcast ended. I sat in silence, trying to process what I had just watched. It wasn't supernatural. It wasn't as if it was cursed, but something about it felt wrong. I wanted to record it, but by the time I thought to grab my camera, it was too late. All I managed to capture was the title card. Nickelodeon was flooded with complaints from horrified parents. Some reported that their children were crying and afraid to take baths. Others questioned why the network had aired something so terrifying. One parent claimed their child had become obsessed with the spider monster, the Japanese spider crab, and wouldn't stop drawing it. Viewers had nightmares. Some developed a fear of the ocean. Nickelodeon has never since acknowledged the broadcast. Executives dismissed it as an error. The film was pulled from rotation. No official archives exist. No copies resurfaced. One executive reportedly locked the footage away in a vault, never to be seen again. But those who saw it never forgot. It wasn't haunted. It wasn't cursed. It was just real. And sometimes, reality is the scariest thing of all.